Tonight, 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey is live at the Ford Museum as we continue to get more details on what you can expect when the body of the former First Lady arrives tomorrow. Joe?
Yeah, good afternoon. So as you can see, the preparations continue here at the Ford Presidential Museum. They have set up the risers for the media coverage. There is much more activity going on inside the museum as it has been since late last week. If you're coming down, if you want to participate, here's a tip. Some of the logistics are still coming out, but if you're here to participate in Jerry Ford's final homecoming back in 2007, logistics-wise, it'll be much the same story. Earlier today, I talked to Grand Rapids Mayor George Hartwell. We talked about the week that has been. Of course, we've had the passing of Mrs. Ford. We had that terrible situation on the north side Thursday night. He says emotionally, Mrs. Ford's return may actually help this community heal from that other violent event. From the aftermath of a violent outbreak to remembering a life well lived, the contrast is striking, but Mayor George Hartwell says Betty Ford's homecoming may help heal the wounds of Thursday's deadly rampage.
We saw some of the worst that can be in the human spirit. Betty Ford typifies that which was best about us.
The mayor made those remarks while honoring the men and women of the Grand Rapids Police Department for their efforts during last week's killings, adding his voice to a chorus of support from the community. Phone calls to the police chief to written thank yous on the sidewalk in front of police headquarters.
The response of the police department was thorough, it was courageous, it was professional.
Less than 24 hours after the rampage ended, Chief Kevin Belk got the call about Betty Ford's death.
Yeah, well, certainly, as they say, there is no rest for the weary.
Much of the logistics for the Ford funeral are already on the books. They had a run-through in 2007 during President Ford's funeral. But the rampage had an emotional impact on many in the communities, including police officers. But for them, there's no pause, no chance to catch their breath. Chief says it's all part of the job.
It's what's expected. They understand that, and you know, when we got the call on Friday evening that Mrs. Ford had passed away, you know, the notifications went out and people started planning as early as Saturday afternoon.
And again, as more details emerge about plans and how you can get involved, we will have them both on air and live on air and at woodtv.com. Live in Grand Rapids, Joe LaFurgey, 24-hour News 8.
Joe, thank you. Again, one last reminder, Mrs. Ford's funeral service is airing live right now on WOTV4 and at woodtv.com. And tomorrow, Betty Ford's body will arrive at the Ford Airport. This will happen all around 5 o'clock in the evening. She will then lie in repose at the Ford Museum. The doors are expected to open at about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. On Thursday, the former First Lady will be laid to rest. The process starts around noon. Our special coverage of that service will begin at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday.